Guys, here's the thing about relationship red flags. Like, I always see online, like, there's a lot of posts like, oh, post your red flags or tell me what my red flags are, or these are red flags in a guy, these are red flags in a girl. And a long time ago, I used to change myself seeing these red flags and being like, oh, I can't be like that. I can't be like that if I want to have a girlfriend or whatever. Like, well, the thing is, red flags are personal and specific. What's a red flag for one person isn't going to be a red flag for another person. Say like, oh, she uses too much toilet paper. Well, maybe one guy likes that, maybe one guy doesn't, or maybe one guy minds that, maybe another guy doesn't mind that. uh it doesn't it's not something that you change, like, oh, I'm going to use less toilet paper so I can find a boyfriend. Well, maybe it doesn't even matter to someone. For me, some of the red flags that personally I don't like in a girl is seeing a girl go out and drink and do drugs and party all the time. I get that they're like young and single, and I don't even really get that, because you're not going to find like a good boyfriend going out clubbing and partying and all that. At least not one that's gonna be stable enough to want to start a family and all that stuff. Uh, so like clubbing and partying and drinking, I don't like all that stuff. Like feminist rights, and it's not even like, when I say I don't like feminism, it's like people think it's like, oh, you don't like women, you don't like women. No, I just don't like things like abortion, because it's like a whole thing that I'm not going to get into in this video. I'm not trying to make it like that, but I have like personal red flags or personal things that I don't like in a woman, like uh, ignoring me. Obviously, no one likes being ignored. Not spending enough time with me, not caring about me and my feelings or anything like that. Like, uh, not working towards having equal exchange of value in a relationship. Like, if I bring a lot to the relationship, or if I bring something to the relationship that you value, uh, I expect to get some type of value back in an equal. Because that's what I believe long lasting relationships are. Is like, I have to bring value to a girlfriend to get her to stay with me. The same way, like, Apple has to bring you value with the iPhone, get the iPhone to be something you want to get you to stay with Apple and the iPhone. So that's the way that I think about relationships. So I want someone who sees relationships like that the same way. I want someone that will talk to me about the future and problems, and work out problems and talk about our future and talk about problems beforehand before they get to be an issue. Because say like, I don't know, just off the top of my head, say that each of you have two different preferences for how to raise children, how to raise your children. Well, if you don't talk about that beforehand, that's going to come up when that issue comes up, and you're not going to be unified in it. Which, just when you and your partner aren't unified raising children, well, then children just see that as like a weak point in parenting, and then take advantage of that. Let's just say like, one parent one parent wants to force their kid to eat vegetables. The other is like, oh, just if they don't like vegetables, whatever. If they don't like broccoli, we'll find a different vegetable that they like, or they don't have to eat the vegetable if they don't want to. They can take a multivitamin instead, or whatever. So things like that, it's a lot easier to talk about beforehand than when that situation comes up. Because now, if you're dealing with it when the situation comes up, and I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but if you're dealing with it when the situation comes up, now you're dealing with your child as well as your partner, that you're working with and trying to fix this problem with. When, if you just discussed it beforehand and was in a unified position with your partner, your wife or husband or whatever, then the issue doesn't even exist with the child. Like obviously their preferences matter and whatever, but you have a unified way of handling it with your partner. But it's just things like that. Like I want someone that's like into me and wants to talk about the future and all that stuff. For like the drinking and smoking weed, like it I can't be in a relationship. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke weed or anything like that. I'm like fully uh like I'm grown up enough to be able to handle my feelings and mature enough to where I don't want alcohol to mask any feelings. Like if I'm anxious, like I used to drink because I'm anxious going up and talking to a girl or talking to anyone really. It makes it like easier to talk to people. I'm okay enough that I feel that way that I don't need to drink to overcome that stuff. And also, like, if I'm with someone that drinks, uh, well, for one, if I'm with someone that drinks, like my last girlfriend, like many years ago, I met her at a party at my house where we drank, and then our first date, we went out to a bar, and then like every time after that, we would go out to a bar on weekends. Like I wouldn't drink that much, maybe like 3 or 4 drinks, and just play pool. Like I wasn't getting too drunk, and I don't think she was too either. But it just set this like precedent to drink that our relationship has alcohol in it. And then when I wanted to change that relationship, when I didn't want to drink, that is like, oh, she thinks in her head, like, oh, this relationship is becoming something that I don't know anymore. And that makes me uncomfortable because I don't know this relationship anymore. I don't know you anymore. I don't know what to expect. Uh, and also, I had another girl who I used to hang out with a lot, and I really liked her. She didn't like me. She liked me as a friend, and I liked her more than that. But she would smoke weed constantly, and I knew what it was. It was to like numb and tone down the pain that she feels, and just like uh, from like all the stuff in her past that happened and everything like that. And I want to be like I want the person that I'm with to be present in the relationship and all that stuff. Like I want, like when someone's drunk or smoking weed, it's like I'm talking to like a zombie or a person that's just not there that I can't talk to. Um, so it's just I don't like having I don't like drinking and drugs and all that. Uh, People that do that stuff. But like I said, maybe someone likes drinking and partying and clubbing and drugs and all that. Uh, I like going out. Like I want to go out and do things like go on boats and go for hikes and all that stuff. But I don't like being around multiple huge parties of people and partying and all that stuff. Oh yeah, what was I saying? Maybe someone does like a person who drinks and does drugs and all that stuff. But personally, I don't see a relationship being stable and lasting with that. And even if you are okay, you and your partner drinking and doing drugs and all that, let's say that you have kids. Well, that kid isn't going to be okay being raised in a house with alcoholics and drug addicts because they're not going to be emotionally present for their child, and their child's going to be raised by alcoholic who can't complete all the tasks. And it's like a whole other thing to talk about, but there's really no such thing as a high functioning alcoholic. It's just like a person who drinks and then ignores a ton of other aspects of their life. So it seems like they're high functioning, but they're actually lacking in a lot of places that you don't see. Anyway, the whole point of this video is if you see someone posting like relationship red flags in a video, like, oh, relationship red flags, he doesn't like checkers, like don't change yourself. And that's just like some weird thing that I made up, but don't change yourself because you see like all these red flags online.